Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm checking out a 2021 Lexus RX 350 all-wheel drive in the base F Sport package. Keep in mind when shopping for an RX 350 that the F Sport package is split into two. One is an appearance package, and the higher level one is the handling package, which includes the appearance package, but also includes an adapted variable suspension as well. I have a series of videos on the 2020 RX 350, but it did not have the F Sport appearance package. This one, even though it's mostly cosmetic, it is a very different experience driving this vehicle. And when I approach it, when I look at it, it just doesn't seem like it's the same vehicle. It's sitting on 235/55 Bridgestone tires wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels with a gloss black finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors on all four wheels. The name of this color is Grecian Water. I think I'm saying that correctly. And it's a really nice kind of royal blue color. Has a little bit of a metal flake in there. And in contrast with the black accents on the vehicle, I think it looks pretty good. Now it does make the vehicle seem a little bit lower, just in my perception of it. The black and this color and the larger wheels than the previous RX 350 I had, it just looks differently, and it actually feels a little bit different too. The seats feel a little bit different to me, but almost everything is the same basically, but it does have a little bit different styling here in the front. It does have the gloss black wheels, but it also maintains these headlights, these 3 projector headlights, and really impressive looking going down the road. And I have a full night video of a 2020 which has the same headlight system, and it looks fantastic. So the black wheels are accompanied by a lot of black accents here. So there's black around each wheel wells. There's also a black accent here on the side, right in here. The pillars are blacked out here and here. Also, you have a gloss black piece right here kind of separating the roof line. The upper portion of the side mirror is gloss black. The handles are body colored though. It has the same proximity key system, which is very handy. When we remote start the vehicle, you just hit the lock button 1, 2, 3, and hold it on the third time. See, it takes a few seconds there. All right, so now it's started. So the remote start, kind of the purpose that I use a remote start is to get the vehicle going, get the air conditioning, the climate control going. And then that way when I get in the vehicle, I don't have to start it. I just get in, push the button or whatever the requirement is to go, and then I go. But the thing about remote start is also, another thing is when it's remote started, you can go ahead and typically what I'll do is unlock the doors, and any passengers that get to the vehicle before me, I let them in and all that stuff. But with this vehicle, the remote start turns the engine off as soon as you unlock the car. So I can if I push the unlock button here, or if I open up the trunk, or if I touch the handle and unlock the vehicle, it turns the engine off. So basically it's just a waste of time because it starts the vehicle twice. So if I go ahead and right now I try to get in the vehicle, now the engine turned off. So it's a total waste of time as far as I'm concerned now. It just takes away the value of the remote start. So I guess if it was like super cold or something and I remote started the vehicle to warm it up, but it makes no sense to have the vehicle turn back off when you get in the vehicle. So, you know, I just don't get it. Maybe you have some explanation or something, and you can let me know. Now the doors go all the way to the bottom, so it keeps that threshold a little bit clean. And the inside is very interesting. It has a combination of this black, it has stitching. It also has this white accent here. And so it's you know, basically the same thing as the prior years, but has heated and vented seats on this one with the blue stitching. So there's blue right there. And then it has this white. You can see more blue. And the seats actually feel different to me. They're not actually that comfortable. I'm not sure what the deal is there, but I don't know if this particular vehicle or what, but it is a power seat. There's a storage pocket there on the side, and lots of leg room and all that stuff. So it's, I mean, it's basically the same vehicle as the prior years, but just visually, you know, it looks different. It looks smaller on the inside as well because it's a, you know, darker color. The previous one is a lighter color, and it's more, you know, it has like wood accents and stuff like that. This one just has, you know, just all dark. So the F Sport is basically, you know, if you like the way it looks better, it's, you know, it's just an appearance package. So that's the thing about this. You have to like the way it looks. It has to initially be pleasing to look at before you continue on with it. Same thing here with the back door. Now I just want to point out that the appearance package, the F Sport appearance package, does have a little bit of ambient lighting, and I show a lot of the lighting, all the lighting basically in the previous video, which has a great lighting system, puddle lights and all that stuff. I would say it's above average, not like super duper great, but it is really good. So back here, you know, even though it looks smaller to me than the previous one, there is plenty of leg room. And you see the seats are kind of bowed here in the back, so it kind of gives you extra leg room, even though the top part of the seat kind of, you know, is pushed back in your face a little bit. Has cup holders, armrests, car seat attachments, USB charge ports back here, a completely flat floor, which is great. It has pockets on the back of both front seats, and they also have plastic here as well. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, it has a body-colored shark fin antenna here. Third brake light is here in the spoiler. It's an LED strip. Also, there is a wiper hidden up here as well. So as it wipes, it comes down and pushes down whatever's on the glass. So if there's snow or something there, this could, you know, push off the snow, hopefully, or a better chance of the ones than the ones that kind of swing up, which is, it's a lot harder to push up snow than push down, obviously. So it does have full LED taillights, which look fantastic. Backup camera is right there, offset. It does have a 360 camera system, so that's part of that. There's a light in the there is a camera in the very front center, one on the underside of each side mirror, and then there's this one, and it kind of stitches it together. Does a pretty good job, and allows you to see around the vehicle in different areas. Parking sensors across the front and the back. The exhaust tips are inside these surrounds, so they actually do have exhaust flowing through these. And these kind of simulate a diffuser system here, just for looks. Okay, so this has a button under here, you can lift it up. Has carpeted portion there on the bottom. And the cargo area is fantastic. It has lots of room and mostly carpeted. It does have this metallic portion here with these raised sliders. And you can fold these seats down to a 60-40 split. You can fold it down actually in 3 different ways. So the center portion folds separately from the right side and the left side if you want to have that, or you can fold them down in a 60-40 fashion, or all of them down just to add to your cargo space when needed. Now you can put a shade back here as well. Has the spot for it, which is kind of like an option. And it has 2 light sources, LEDs, which is good. It has a 12-volt power supply back here as well. You have the ability to lower the seats if the coast is clear by using these switches right here, these handles, and you can lower them but not raise them. There's also a little bag hanger there as well. It kind of flips out and hang there. It does have a first aid kit, which I thought was pretty cool. There's also a subwoofer here on the left side. And under the floor is a little bit more storage area and your spare tire and tools. So you can lower down the power lift gate here, or you can push this button and it lowers the power lift gate, then locks all the doors for you. And it's kind of comes down slow, so it's relatively safe, and it doesn't slam, but you still want to watch out for kids' fingers, stuff like that. Fuel doors are on the driver's side. It does lock with the vehicle, and it has a traditional cap, tether, and a little place to hang the cap while you're pumping gas. It has these pretty cool floor mats, and here on the driver's side they hook in place so that it doesn't slide around on you. And check out these pedals. Raised rubber aluminum pedals, very sporty looking. Even the footrest there on the far left is that same design. The F-Sport has this pretty cool steering wheel. Has the F-Sport badging, perforations here on the side. It looks pretty neat. It's basically the same though. It does have paddle shifters, but as far as like the features and stuff, is basically the same, except for the G-force meter here, which gives you the braking pressure, the accelerator pressure position, also the G-force is going braking and lateral movement and all that stuff, which is pretty cool. And it's kind of more of a kind of gimmicky. It's not really, for this type of vehicle, it doesn't really seem to match, but it does have it among all the other features that the regular RX 350 has. Now the camera system you can turn on without putting it in reverse, but when you do that, it gives you like this perimeter scan around the vehicle, which can potentially sometimes be helpful around the vehicle. Now when you put it in reverse, it pops up the back view, and you can see top-down view there on the right, and then the back view does have active guidelines. But when you have it in drive, you can see the front view, and it still has the outside top-down view. And so it's handy, especially when you use this automatic feature here. When you turn on the automatic function, when you come to a slower speed, as you're slowing down very slow, like under 10 miles an hour or something like that, it'll go ahead and pop this camera up so you can see where you are in relationship to other things, which is really handy. Now, if you're squeezing through a tight space, it does have the automatic, the folding side mirrors that you can have automatic. You can also manually fold them. When you do that, it adds this different dimension to the view. It gives you a side view on each side, and then it still gives you the front view or the rear view, depending on which gear you're in. So you can see right beside the vehicle as you're squeezing through that space. It still gives you a useful view even when you fold in the side mirrors, which I thought that was pretty good. The turn signal kind of sounds like a ticking time bomb, which is kind of interesting. The cruise control tends to work fairly well as far as keeping you at a safe distance from the vehicle in front of you. The lane keep assist system tends to tug on the steering wheel quite a lot. You know, it's a little bit intrusive as far as driving. So that's a little bit, it's not my preference anyway. Now the automatic high beams, now I go over this in the night video for the 2020 model, but the automatic high beams are very sporadic, and they're flashing the lights constantly, and it really is a problem. It doesn't tend to, I wouldn't say it blinds people, it just flashes people a lot. So, you know, it's kind of an issue there. Acceleration is mediocre. For a sporty looking vehicle, it doesn't deliver on sportiness, you know, as far as performance. I wouldn't say it's a slow vehicle, but it's not, you know, it's not a sports car. It's not really a sports SUV or anything. It's just kind of the same as the other one. Kind of normal. It's pretty quiet on the inside, and it is a fairly, even though it has the performance dampers, the more, you know, stiffer dampers, it's not really a big deal. It is comfortable to drive. The heads-up display has a lot of information on it, but even so, once you adjust the brightness to your preference, it's really not that big of a deal. It's basically just kind of having it's like having the gauges on up there, and it's not, I'm not really a big fan of heads-up displays, but even though this one is ridiculous, the amount of information it has on it, which you can customize that, it is not really a big deal. It doesn't really bother me. It's like some other vehicles. I did have to adjust the brightness though, because it was a little bit too bright. So as far as a passenger vehicle that looks, if you like the way it looks, that's the key thing right there, the looks. As far as a passenger vehicle that you like this looks that this vehicle has, and you know, you want something reliable, of course, Lexus. So it's going to be a reliable vehicle. It's not as, I think the comfort of the seats is a little bit issue for me. It probably won't be an issue for most other people though. But I like the fact that it has a, you know, heated and vented seats that have an automatic function. So you can turn that automatic on, and depending on the temperature, you know, of the day or whatever, it will, you know, automatically turn them on, which is pretty neat. Now it's a good handling vehicle for its size and weight. I would say it handles pretty good. There's a few outdated things about it. As far as my opinion is that things could be like, say, the charging pad for the cell phone, the wireless cell phone charger. When I put my cell phone on it, it's too big, so it covers up the light and I can't tell whether it's charging or not. So the pad itself is kind of small, and also it's like way in this cave here in this little tiny itty bitty space. There's another spot for a cell phone here, which my cell phone comes up above these buttons here. So it's made for, I guess, like larger phones. Over the years, phones have gotten larger, and so this is a little bit dated as far as that's concerned. So those areas are not all that functional for me. So when I get in, the cup holders aren't really a good spot to put the cell phone, so I have to just like put it over there on the seat. So all the places that they specifically have for a cell phone, you know, like this right here, it's like wedge it in there because I got this case and it's actually touching right here, and so it covers up those buttons. If I put it in here, I can do that. It barely fits in there, but it covers up the light. I don't know if it's charging or not, and it's kind of like hard to get in and out, especially with the shifter in park. It's like, you know, you kind of have to reach around, and it's a little annoying. Also, the system here is you have to like use like it's like a computer. It has like this little mouse thing, so that is an issue for me, because it requires too much attention to focus on to use the system. So I just try not to use it as much as possible, because it really is it's just too complicated. The screen is nice and big and everything, and the camera system, when you have it turned on, when it turns on automatically, or if you have it in reverse or whatever, it's very useful. So all that's good. It does have a CD player, which is pretty interesting. But there's a lot of features. This vehicle has a lot of features, and I go over all of them in the 2020 video, night video, day video, test drive, all that stuff. But as far as the F Sport itself, it is a different experience. It does look smaller, it does look lower, the wheels are bigger, and they kind of have this distinct look about the vehicle that's different, much different than the other one I drove. And frankly, I like the other one a little bit better. The F Sport, you know, it has this layer of sportiness as far as visually that doesn't match to me the style of vehicle. It just doesn't. It's like it's a little bit trying to be like a Nissan Murano or something. You know, it just doesn't match this vehicle to me. But like I said, that's just my opinion. Now you see when the camera turns on here, and it turns on at low speed. So now I can just like kind of creep. I can look at the lines. Now this isn't a necessity, of course. This is just kind of neat to have, to be able to, you know, kind of pull up and you see the lines and you can nail the parking spot without much thought, especially if you're not paying attention like I was and just whipping in the parking spot. And if you're not familiar with the size of the vehicle and all that stuff, then, you know, you may be, some vehicles have a front end that looks bigger than what they are. That's the thing with my, I've had my Ridgeline for over a year now, and I'm so accustomed to, I'm so not used to that vehicle to where I don't pull up far enough because it looks like I'm on top of whatever I'm in front of or behind it, whatever. But everything that's in front of me looks like it's closer, and when I get out, there's like still like 10 feet. So it's kind of interesting. So having the camera to give you a actual view of around the vehicle is kind of sometimes very useful. The sound system is pretty good. You know, it has the Mark Levinson sound system, and it's pretty good. You know, it's not like really, really good. Like it's above average, I guess you can say. There's some sound systems in vehicles, they're just like impressive, and they really put a smile on your face. It's like really amazing. So this one is kind of like, to me, is not to that level. It's kind of just above average for a factory sound system. So hopefully this video has been helpful. You know, like I said, I have a full overview detailed of a regular RX 350, which has a lot of features, don't get me wrong. It's just not the F Sport. It has a tremendous, it was a very impressive vehicle. But this one is going for a different style. You know, it completely changes my perception of the RX 350. And so if you like the sportier style, then I would look into the F Sports. Like I said, there's two packages for that. One is handling and the other one is a base. But if you like the regular RX 350 that doesn't have, it's more like a luxury SUV style. And that's what I associate the this vehicle with, that luxury style. And it, you know, it does have a totally different appeal, a different feel and everything to it. But hopefully this video has been helpful as far as this F Sport. So the 2021 and the 2022, according to the website, models will be basically the same thing. They'll have a little bit different color options, but as far as the actual vehicle itself, Lexus uses the same design for years, just like Toyota, and so they don't redesign it all the time. So it's basically going to be the same thing. And so yeah, you know, having the F Sport available to kind of show you what it looks like. It has different shifter, different steering wheel, different colors. The seats are a little bit different looking, and it has just a regular sunroof instead of the panoramic sunroof the other one had. And the bigger wheels, gloss black, and you know, just cosmetically, it's a different looking vehicle, but it's basically, you know, the same. The features, like I go over the screen, I go over every feature in the vehicle, how to use it and all that stuff in the other video. So I'll link that in the description so you can check it out. Also the night video, which is very important on this one because it is a above average, very impressive headlight system as far as seeing down the road, but also above average as far as the lighting. You know, the compartments are lit. There's some accent lighting. There's floorboard illumination. There's puddle lights, that kind of thing, that are really helpful. It's not just visually, but it's not just like, you know, nice to look at. They're actually functionally good lighting system, above average for sure, in this vehicle. So anyways, thank you for watching. Hopefully it's been helpful, and I'll see you guys next time.